was your reaction when you found out you were being traded to Carolina?
To be honest, when I heard the news about getting traded from the Jets, I was rejoiced. That place was a hellhole. I mean, but all New York teams right now are kind of shitty. But like honestly, I was rejoicing. I had no reason to complain. I'm joining a team with the Carolina Panthers that looks like they're a little bit on the up and up. And I could pretty much compete for the starting job. I don't think it's going to be handed to me at all. But I'm looking forward to proving myself. And
Jets gave up on you too soon?
listen, the Jets traded like 10 draft picks to get me. So if they wanted to get rid of me, I'm perfectly fine with it. I think that I did everything that I could there. I had a left tackle last year, but then he was going down every 5 minutes. Took a look at my porous offensive line. Denzel Mims was getting injured the entire time. They got rid of Robbie Anderson. I don't know why. So who am I have to deal with? And then when they finally give me weapons, they kick me out. So miss me with that.
I know Carolina doesn't have a huge history of winning, but at least they've been to a Super Bowl in the last 50 years. Like, come on. What are you talking about here?
Joe Douglas promised your mom you'd get protection and playmakers. I talked to you about that last March, I think, on Zoom. It didn't ever really materialize to the level that perhaps it could have, and I just wonder if you'd reflect on that for me as well.
Do you know what I want to tell my mom? I'm going to tell my mom that I was one of the best Jets quarterbacks in the past 20 years. Just obvious because there's not really that high of a ceiling. They didn't protect me at all. And Carolina, to be honest, they're not really going to protect me that much either. I'm taking a look at it. Taylor Moton, like, may want to draft the left tackle here in the first round. I'm looking at you, Penny, and I'm looking at you, Rashawn Slater. My mom is definitely going to be more comfortable living in North Carolina. Better weather, better people, kind of more relaxed. And, yeah, I think it should overall be fun.
Curious, when you found out or heard that you might be getting traded during the off season, was there maybe a sense of relief that, you know what, let's just start pickups, go somewhere else instead of having a third coach in 4 years just in New York alone?
You know, obviously getting traded, it hurts. I'm not just kidding. It was the New York Jets. I mean, come on. They went like something like 0-10 without me. It was screw the 15-23 with me. They couldn't even win a game without me. Joe Flacco almost won a game, and everyone was celebrating him. I'm here getting tossed around every single game. I can barely have a base to throw on, and I'm doing one-handed passes. Go Jets, have fun with Zach Wilson. And I'll be here, and I'll be trying to win this division. We have Tom Brady. Again, I don't know how I ended up in the division with Tom Brady again, but that's just how it is. So, I don't know. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. And today, what I want to talk about is Sam Darnold. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a skit. Sometimes I'm like not too sure when to do a skit. I'm like, I haven't done a skit in a while, but I don't want to like force anything. And I thought it'd be a right time to do something like that. I think some of those are funny. The anger translator. I'm not the best at those. I'm not pretending like I'm a professional comedian, but I think I'd switch it up a little bit. But today, I want to talk about Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater, Jets, Zach Wilson, whatever. So Zach Wilson, he's a presumptive player that's going to be in the Jets. So let's talk a little bit about him. There's a lot of controversy. People saying his floor is Johnny Manziel, ceiling Patrick Mahomes. Now I wouldn't call it ceiling Patrick Mahomes, but he can be a Patrick Mahomes-esque type player. Yeah, he often sets his base really well, fires downfield. There are moments of inaccuracies that you see on film, but it's not horrible. Like some players are like, oh come on, like in an NFL game. You can't be making a lot of those mistakes because they kind of add up throughout the game. Like it happens with a lot of quarterbacks, especially young ones. His decision-making sometimes just like, what are you doing? Sometimes he opts not to throw it in order to like expand, make a play. But Patrick Mahomes does that, so I don't think there'll be that much of an issue. His arm strength is great. Sometimes his downfield accuracy, man, there's some he's throwing some dimes down the field. But the problem is a lot of them were jump balls, by the way. His receivers helped him out a lot. I would say this about him compared to Daniel Jones. I don't mean to talk about Giants fan, talking about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, his players would drop wide open balls. You know, they both, Zach Wilson and Daniel Jones benefited from beautiful design plays. But Daniel Jones was playing against stiffer competition. He was playing against the Clemsons of the world. He was doing it with far just infinitesimal talent. Take a look at BYU this year. Their tackle, by the way, probably going to get drafted in maybe the third round. They have a couple of, I think a wide receiver, their tight end. That was a safety valve for him. So Zach Wilson was constantly dealing with players that are just superior to the other team. Now, there's always the argument like, okay, you're dealing with bad players and you're versing bad players, but you get to get away with a lot more, if that makes any sense. And when you're playing with better players, they know the game better. So it's a more NFL-like situation. So that's what I'll say about that. But the Jets better be right about this. Sam Darnold
was traded for a second, fourth, and a sixth. He was traded up for 3 second-rounders. So you already see the value there. They lost value, and plus they wasted a pick on Sam Darnold. It looks like Daniel Jones is the better quarterback. I'm a Giants fan. Screw the New York Jets. And by the way, who are they surrounding him with? A perennially injured now, Mekhi Becton, potentially. Robbie Anderson's replacement and Corey Davis. Like, who's your tight end? Who's your running back? Le'Veon Bell's gone, right? Yeah, he went to the Chiefs. Like, I like Michael Piron. He's a former Gator. Whatever. So, like, you're not really surrounding him with stuff either. You're kind of relying on Mike LaFleur developing him, and he's going to be under duress, which is something he didn't deal with in BYU. Good luck. Colin Cowherd says there's 1, 2, maybe successful quarterback draft in the first round. If you think all of a sudden it's going to be a 2018 draft, no, it's not always like that. Half of them are 2015, where the top 2 players now are playing for different teams. You never know with James Winston. But let's go on to the next point. Carolina Panthers, what are they getting in Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold has a weaker arm than Zach Wilson. People are comparing his throws. Sam Darnold can do some things off platform. He can. Sometimes decision making, but he's athletic. He can go on the run. Like in a functional pocket, I question his ability to throw. Like when everything is kind of working, I sometimes question his ability to like make the read and throw it. Sometimes he survives a little bit on chaos, which is kind of ironic because he played for the Jets and it didn't really end up working out. But to be fair, I mean, he was like 16-25, but the rest of the team was 0-8, 0-10, like you saw in the press conference that Sam Darnold, he highlighted that. Just kidding. But okay, so you take a look at their offense. They brought in Cameron Irving for an offensive lineman. They better draft an offensive lineman number 8. That's what they need. They don't need Jalen Waddle. They need anybody like that. They need somebody for Sam Darnold to block him. They need him to be protected. It starts off with Taylor Moton. I don't know whether they want to move him to left. I think he's a pure right tackle. Greg Little, they're going to have to move him into guard. He's played a lot of tackle, but I think you should be playing. You're a third year, second round. You should be playing. You should be playing in your first year. But you have like a 50 PFF grade. I don't watch Carolina 100%. I can't tell you about the up and coming prospects. Just like you can't tell me if you're a Carolina Panthers fan about Shane Lemieux. You can't. You can't tell me anything about him. So Carolina, they're in a hard division. You're talking about the Falcons. You can laugh at them all you want, but remember what happened with Kyle Shanahan and partnered up with Matt Ryan? Remember what happened? I know Matt Ryan's later in his career that maybe the talent on the roster is not as great, but they have some high picks. They can trade back and all of a sudden transform the team a little bit here. All they need is a running back and Kyle Pitts, and this offense is like, whoa. They have growing tackles, and you look at the Saints, they're dumping a lot of players, but they have Sean Payton. Even in their worst years, they're a 7-9, 8-8 team with Drew Brees. But Jameis Winston, he'll challenge you. So you're looking at really 2 wins in this division max. So it's gonna be tough for Carolina. He has 2 years to prove himself. He's not really put in a 100% great scenario, but he gets to reset the clock. He gets to be in a smaller market, smaller team, a team that had Cam Newton, has some greats on it, has a little bit of history, but it's not like you're replacing Peyton Manning. You're going in for Teddy Bridgewater. And by the way, my prediction for Teddy Bridgewater, a little anecdote, why not just join the Jets? I don't know why he wasn't included in that trade. Okay, he'll back up Zach Wilson. Or I can also see him in a role with the Chicago Bears, backing up Andy Dalton. But Andy Dalton made a promise. So they're very honestly few spots for Teddy Bridgewater. Maybe join back with the Saints because they did have some success with him. And that roster's not completely different. You still have a good offensive line, smart play calling, etc. But yeah, those are some spots I can see him, or maybe just back up Trevor Lawrence in the Jacksonville. Those are 3 teams. That's pretty much all I have to say. Get on with the rest of your day. We talked about a lot today, and hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know any of your opinions in the comment section down below as always, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.